Now let's talk about beliefs. Your beliefs, your thoughts, your action, your feelings. Do you know that what you believe in, your belief controls your life, just like your existence? Honestly, automatically depends on your belief in what you believe in, because that's your being. Your belief is your being. It's like this: your thoughts, what you think about, controls your feeling, and your feeling controls your action. Have you ever, like, for instance, you're watching a comedy, and then suddenly you could see the expression on your face, or the expression of, a friend's or family's face just change into smile, or someone says something to you you disagree with, and you just frown. You see, that's because your thoughts, what you're thinking about that minute, what that person has said, and then you start feeling it, and then the expression, the action on your face. So if you can go back to the root cause, to the beginning, and try and fix your belief, your thoughts, what you think about. If you can control what you think about, if negative things come into your mind, you force it. You say, no, I'm not going to think about your negativity. I'm going to think about positive thing. You're trying to do positive things. You're trying to be around positive people. Trying to read positive books. Things to give you a brighter day. Things to make you see the light shining at the end of the tunnel. And when you repeat this over and over, naturally you will start to live in positivity, regardless of whatever it is. Now, I'm going to share a word with you today. I just came across this word myself recently. I've been looking for a word that's, that expresses what I was trying to say for a while. But I just found this word. It's called equanimity. Equanimity, And if you like read your dictionary or thesaurus, you would see the meaning of equanimity. I'll just give you a brief explanation what equanimity is, and to show you how strong and great this word is. Someone says one of the greatest word in the English dictionary. In the English dictionary, with about 600 compositions or something like that. I mean, other languages got 200 or so, but the English language has about 600. Someone says equanimity is the strongest word in the English language. Equanimity can mean a lot of things, but these are a few examples. So equanimity can mean evenness of temper, how you control your mind, how you control your temper, composure of your spirit, especially how you handle yourself in terms of problem. How calm are you? How steady are you in terms of trying circumstance, problems, situation? How do you handle wins and your losses, your ups and downs? How do you handle criticism, even though when you're right? How do you stay poised? When you get into trouble, when there's a trouble around you, if it's your fault or it's not your fault, do you rise above it? Or do you buckle under it as a slave? Do you rise above trouble as the master, or do you buckle under trouble as a slave? When personal problem comes into your life, do you hide and run, or do you compose yourself and put them forward to the Lord in prayer, or and trying to work on your action? Or do you just buckle on the days and hide them and just hide your face from everyone, become scared, become ashamed? In an unknown situation, do you keep serene and calm, peaceful? In crisis, do you get frightened, panic stricken, confused? When you're being criticized, slandered, do you become angry, frustrated? Or do you make yourself bigger than comedy and your opponent by refusing to allow them to touch you? You know, do you become a victim of worry, anxiety, doubt, and fear? Are you at the mercy of some inferiority complex which easily defeats and discourages you from speaking, from taking action, from asking questions, from expressing how you say, for speaking to people what really matters to you? Now, from all I've said to you, the meaning of equanimity. Now ask yourself, do you meet the test of equanimity? Regardless of the situation, regardless of the problem, regardless of circumstance, emergency, crisis, ups and downs, terror, do you stay calm and collected and focus on the problem at hand, or do you run away from it, cry, moan, complain, blame it on others, blame it on the situation, blame it on your childhood, blame it on your parents, blame it on your environment, blame it on your height, your size, your skin color, your religion, where you grew up? So if your answer to any of these things I've just said is yes, then you need an adjustment. One would say you're out of an adjustment with the Lord. One would say you're out of adjustment with nature. One would say you need to find peace. One would say you need to look into yourself, go back to the root cause. What's always the cause of these things I'm running away from? How can I fix it? Go back to the beginning. I said when you miss your way sometimes, it's better to return to your foundation, to your home, and start all over again. Trace your way back to where it all begins, and then you could start again gradually, little by little, step by step, lighten your footpath this time. And if you've answered yes to this question, you always, frightened, full of fear, that means you've been subdued by the things you are meant to subdue. You've been subdued by what you are meant to subdue. There's two things. There's a master and a commander. You cannot control what controls you. That is period. You cannot control what controls you. For all I've said, if you're going to take one thing, just take this. You cannot control what controls you. If fear, anxiety, self-centeredness, pain, jealousy, envy, all these things control you, then there's no way you can flourish, because you need to control all this to move on. You need to subdue all this. If they've held you in bondage, you need to subdue all this before you actually start. First, you need to work on yourself before you look outside to others, to your environment. In the book of James Allen, he says, as a man thinketh. In the Bible, it says the same thing. So the foundation, the beginning is you. It's never your environment. There's 6 billion people around this world. You can't change everyone, but you can only change yourself. When you change yourself, life begins to change for you. When you improve the services you have to sell, you get better buyers at a better price. How does one go from earning $10 an hour to $20 an hour? You don't increase the amount of hour you work. You increase the amount of skill you have, the amount of services you can provide. So it's always been in you. You are the core, the foundation, the beginning, the cornerstone. The difficulties many of us, we've not learned to live successfully in trouble. We've not learned. You're like, what do you mean? How can I live successfully in trouble? Yes, because the thing is, like, when trouble is around you, that is generally not you. It is just around you. So to live with trouble, you have to live outside that trouble. You have to see that trouble for what it is, put it in its place, and look for a way to fix it. But if you let that trouble subdue you, it stops you from thinking. It blocks all arteries and whatever. Like, it forces you into a place of submission. So you have to live successfully with trouble. You have to live outside it, and then look back into it and look for solutions how to fix it. What's the root cause? What has brought about this thing? How do I get to the root cause? Do I need help? Can I fix it on my own? Do I need to read book? Do I need to speak to someone? Do I need to work on my skill? Do I need to grow? You have to live outside trouble to fix the trouble. You can't live within the trouble and trying to fix the trouble. It will subdue you. When you step outside, you have time to think. You have time to plan. You have time to program. That is how you can live with trouble successfully. When trouble comes, a lot of people are just running helter skelter. They practically stop thinking. Stop thinking. They have to learn how to rise above distractions and dilemmas by changing their thoughts. Change your thoughts. The only thing you have to change, trouble would come regardless. Regardless, trouble would come. So even Jesus had trouble. God in heaven could have saved Jesus from dying on the cross, but allowed him to go through it. Why? Because there's a purpose for it. So trouble would come in your life. That is constant. Trouble would come. But the only thing we can change, the only way we can, rise above trouble, the only way we can become strong is to change our thoughts and our attitude towards problem. When you change how you think about problem, your attitude towards problem, how you handle problem, then problem would come, but it would seem just like day and night, whatever comes and goes. Because now you've learned how to rise above it. You've become the master. When you're not able to rise, above your problem, live outside your problem, any personal problem or any sort of thing that you encounter immediately knocks you off balance. Anything, any little tweak paralyzes you. You're unable to function properly. You're unable to think. You ever see like when people get into an exam hall, they have a brain freeze. Or when some people get to an interview, they have a brain freeze. They can't think. When people get into some situation, they just numb. They paralyze. That's what trouble does to you. It paralyzes you. It makes you unable to function properly for that period, for that duration. For some people, as long as the problem persists, they're dead and buried in that spot. They become like a there in the face of a headlamp. They stuck. They become crippled and handicapped, not because of their problem, but because they have not learned how to live successfully and triumphantly with the problem. Instead of conquering their problems, they become conquered by their problems. These people are the people who always want, to live a life without problem, a sheltered life. They imagine a place where they can be, where they can never reach a position of conflict, a position of tension, a roller coaster life, an up and down life. They never imagine that. They want a smooth sailing life, a life that's full of serenity, calm and easy, peaceful. They don't want any trouble. But this is life. This is life. There is no such place. There is no such place. There is no such security. There is no such place. There is no such security. The only place where you can have that peace is to place your heart in God, who has put you on this planet to become a king and not a pauper, and then face your fear and go. He will provide. Pray, but then walk. Pray, but then walk. If you want to be in this life, you don't want to have any ups and downs, you might as well be in the cemetery. In the cemetery where you lie, die, dead and buried. That is the only place you're going to be in life where you have no ups and downs. And even there, sometimes, they come dig your body out and toss you out. So that is the only place you're going to be when you want no ups and downs in life. You don't want to face problems. You don't want to face challenges. Because you can never grow without facing challenges. A diamond doesn't go from a coal to a diamond without challenges. No, that transformation period, that's what builds it. The problem that you face, that's what makes you stronger. That's what you encounter and climb up. So you have to learn. The way to conquer difficulty is not by fighting, not by running away from them, but by living with a triumphant faith. I believe that I am over this. I am rising above this. I am basically above this, not rising above this. I am above this. And this does not mean like when you have that faith, when you have that belief that, you will not have problem. No, you will face problem. Of course, you will face problem. But you would be rest assured that, you're living with faith. And then regardless of whatever it is, you will overcome it. Then you will be calm and collected in your actions. You will never be rash. You never be disciplined. You never be frustrated. You never be angry, because you know the problem will come. It's like going into a tennis match where you know you would never be able to lose. Can you win without losing? No. But you go into like a competition knowing you could lose or you could win. But knowing that you could lose makes you fight harder to win. And then your winning matters more. That's what life is. You go into life knowing there's ups and downs. But by being calm and understanding the problem, the root cause of it, you rise above it and you overcome it. Nothing is ever gained by running away from our troubles. Because the truth is, you can't run away from yourself. You can never run away from yourself. So, and the problem, it's never your environment, it's always you. It's always in you. There's things that needs to change in you. Your attitude, how you approach life. Maybe working on your skill to solve this problem better. So sometimes we're just trying to run away from our troubles, but it's never on its own. Our troubles is with us. So when we run away, we run with our trouble. If you can run away from yourself, then it's easy. You run away from your trouble. But because you can't run away from yourself, you can never run away from your trouble. So by standing and understanding the root cause, the beginning of our problem, the foundation, we learn how to master and overcome our problem. You must understand there's one thing you have responsibility for. You have responsibility for nothing else but for your thoughts, your mind. How you control your mind controls your world. How you control your mind controls your belief. How you control your mind controls your action. How you control your mind controls your feeling. So because we have responsibility for nothing but our thoughts, our mind, then we have the responsibility to to narrow our mind to what we accept, to what we let get into us. Because what we admit into our mind, into our thoughts, is what we reflect. We must only admit that which is productive to us, constructive, only good. We must only admit good, only good into our mind. You cannot have two minds, one good and one bad, one good and one evil. No, you are your thought, your feeling, and your action. That is you. That's what makes you. So whatever you admit, if you admit good, your action reflection is good. If you admit bad, because your thought becomes your action becomes bad. The same when you think about good things, you smile. When you think about bad things, frustration, you frown. That's easy. What you admit inside you is what others see in your reflection without you knowing. Have you ever seen some people who just, without no cause, just say, I don't like that person? You haven't even altered a word. You haven't said anything. They're just like, I don't like that person. Why? Because of the reflection they can see. Is that maybe you don't speak or your face, you're frowning every time? Just that's the reflection they can see. Or I'm sure you've met those who say, oh, that person is unapproachable. I can't approach that person. They haven't even spoken to that person. Why? But the reflection on that person's face, the person's demeanor, their actions just puts people off. That's because of they are reflecting on the outside what they're thinking on the inside. So the number one thing you have to change is what on the inside. What do you think of? What do you harbor? Because when you think you're harboring inside, you hiding, no one can see. Everyone, it's just there. It's like a billboard. It's reflecting 100% on the outside, and that's what everyone is judging you about. And at the same time, I'm sure you've seen those who just attract people, multiple people. Everyone wants to be around them. That's the same thing. What they have inside is what they express outside. Confidence inside is confidence outside. Anxiety inside is anxiety outside. Fear inside is fear outside. So you have to go back to the root cause, the beginning, and conquer your fears. No, you must start with yourself. You can't lean on others and the forces outside you. No, you must lean on yourself first. You must start with yourself, your inner self. What is it I'm thinking about? What is it I wake up, the first thing I do, I think about? When I go to sleep, what's the last thing I think about? What it is inside me I have to fix or I have to change? How does others see me? The thing you have to understand is that we are our desires. We are our desires. When we start to desire negative, our surrounding, ourselves, when we surround ourselves with negative people who automatically, when we surround ourselves with negative people, we automatically cut ourselves off from the essential of life, and we enter into a great void of emptiness, limitations, and loss. That's because we absorb, all this bad energy, and we say goodbye to initiations, goodbye to progressiveness, intuitions, But when we free ourselves from these negative thoughts, regardless of the problem around us, these problems, they may seem insurmountable, but when we free our mind and start with a positive attitude, you will see your whole world would improve. All things will be seen from a different angle, a different perspective. Your creativeness, your creative power will set to work, and you will recreate, rebuild, harmonize everything in your life. Why? Because you're starting from the foundation, a positive point. Regardless of what's happening to you, you have chosen to be positive. They say we choose our attitude. That's the only thing we can choose. We choose our attitude. And when you choose your attitude, you will start to see your health will improve, your finances will improve, your personal life will improve. You attract greater opportunities, more like-minded people around you would be attracted to you. Bad circumstances, problems will lose their power over you. The old you that runs and hides now stands tall and speaks clearly and precisely. You now speak and other wants to listen. The direction of your life, the angle of your life would change for the better. Instead of chasing opportunities, begging for a job, people will chase you with career. People offer you opportunities now because you now have the skill to help people, assist people, solve problems. So whereas before you running about begging for a job, now you're now a problem solver and people chasing you to come solve their problem. Why? Because you've taken the step, taken the minute to focus on yourself and build yourself, which is the foundation. So you are now victory organized. Everything you do will be a success. You now control your situations regardless. And that's the thing I say again. You control your situation. Why? That's because it's simple. You cannot control whatever controls you. It's period. If your thought controls you, you cannot control your thought. So you choose your thought. You can't control what controls you. There's never been two masters in one ship, a master and a master. There's always a master and a slave. A master and a commander. a master, and a puppet. So you choose. What would you rather be? You rather be the master or the slave? And this does not mean you will never have any problem again. No, in case the higher you go, the more problem you have. But you will be in a better and favorable position to master your problem and conquer them. Why? Because you have become the master. You know, a ship captain always encounters different problems on the sea. But everyone runs to them. Why? They are the master, the captain, the commander. They know how to solve problems. They have become battle ready. As they say, as a man thinketh, you have to go back to the drawing board, back to yourself, back to your inner spirit. Start off with, I am the master of my mind, the master of my environment. And from here, I say what goes. And you will see your life change. When anything comes to you, any circumstance force, you focus on yourself. You do not blame anyone. You do not blame the situation, the environment, your childhood. You say, this is me, I'm here, and I would fix it. When you have that sort of attitude to life, life begins to change for you because you now have made yourself a dedicated problem solver. You focus on what's good and you work on them. What's bad, you improve on them. You are the master of your soul, the master of your life. You could choose to be a slave for the rest of your life, run and hide, let others tell you where to live, when to eat, when to sleep, or you could be the master of the problem and let others come to you for solutions.